Have you aped in to Apecoin? Wow, since March, it's just exploded into a top 50, top 30 coin. But have you aped in yet? There's a particular chart pattern that you want to be aware of. We've had this nice pullback, but I'm going to show you with high probability how you can be 2 steps ahead of the market, whether it's Apecoin or other coins. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jiggy. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I only used to focus on currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrency. So let's ape straight in. Apecoin, like wow, came out of nowhere, exploded. And this is their brand, really clever. It's amazing. But we're going to look at this from a technical standpoint, not the fundamentals, the technicals. So it's a top 31 coin. Its market cap is $4.1 billion. If I just pull this up over here. And then we've got trading volume. Look at the trading volume. It's almost 2 billion, which is almost 50% of the market cap. So a lot of eyeballs on Apecoin. So what we want to do is now just bring up a chart. I'm using DEX tools, right? You know, Apecoin's only been out since, was it March 27th? So what's that? It's like 6 weeks. It's like, wow, look at the price movement on this. So what we're going to do today, I'm on an hourly chart using DEX tools. Really what I'm going to pay attention to is really from this point, because it's not that clear what it is, but from this point, we've had this clear surge up and a big correction on the way down. And this is going to give us some big clues on what's likely, not guaranteed, but what's likely to occur next. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to zoom out into this chart like so. Just want to zoom out a bit more. Bang. This is what I want to focus on, like this. All right. So what you want to be aware of with all markets, all time frames, not just Apecoin, not just crypto, but it just tends to work much better with crypto because the speculation, the human emotion is higher, as in it's more raw. So what we're seeing here is the psychology, the mindset, the thinking of buying and selling. So there's millions of participants, billions of dollars of buying and selling, and this is the psychological mood. So we've had this nice surge to the upside where we saw Apecoin go from, let's just see, the date was April 6th. It went from around $10 and it surged up to $25. You know, for a top 50 coin, top 30 coin, that's very significant. And then we've had this big pullback, right? Big pullback. What we want to be aware of is once we get a surge, think of it like a sprint. You know, there's a sprinter, he's running the 100 meters and he sprints. He or she sprints, but they run out of breath. They got lactic acid, their muscles are burning up here. Now they need a breather. They need a rest period. They need a recovery period. So the market needs to recover. And that's what I see corrections as. And this kind of correction is a retest of this low over here. So it's like some type of wave 1 and then looks like a deep wave 2, a correction. So what we want to be aware of, sorry, I sense a sneeze coming on. If I sneeze, yeah, it's gone. I've got a tickle in my nostril. There you go. If I sneeze, no, I don't need to sneeze. Okay, it's okay. All right, here we go. So what I want to look at here is, what do we see? Do we see any type of chart pattern over here? Do you see any chart pattern? Well, if you've been watching my content for a while now, you'll know that I talk about 3-wave corrections, often called an ABC. Right? The most common type of correction is called an ABC zigzag. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things. First, I'm actually going to do some Fibonacci retracements, because when you get a movement to the upside and you see a clear movement to the downside, a breather or a correction, there's typical ratios. And the most common is this one here. I'm just going to take this low and do it on the side over here. Make sure I line it up. And I'm going to take it to the top over here. And you'll see this is the typical range, the typical maximum correction. What I also see is the pattern, right? So we've got this pattern, like we said, looks like a nice A, B, and it looks like a C forming. I like to put a question mark here because we know it's not confirmed. So we're going to talk about some signals today that will help us see if Apecoin has an ABC confirmation or a signal that the correction is ending. And then let me have a quick look. I just need to sniffle. I think I got a little hay fever. Let me just sniffle. Hold on 2 seconds. Oh, oh, give me 2 seconds. Check. Let me pause. I kind of paused it. Let me pause this. All right, I'm back. Just had some hay fever. Just need to blow my nose. All right, so what we've got here is this nice pattern ABC. I'm also going to look at something called the alternate price projection. So I'm just going to measure this wave A, what looks like a pretty clean A. A wave A can be a 3-wave structure or a 5-wave structure. And we're just going to measure it from this wave B high. And there's 2 particular ratios we want to be aware of when we're doing this one. The 2 ratios are 100% and 1.618. You can see the 1.618 is right down here in this range, and that's more significant. But we've got these 2 ranges over here now. So we've got, I'm just going to draw it like this. We've clearly exceeded this range, and the range that we want to be aware of, which is the next zone, is here, this extreme. And then last but not least, I want to do something called an external retracement. Now what I'm doing here is we're measuring the relationship between the waves. Every wave has a relationship to the other waves, and some are more significant than others. And this just gives us a massive edge to see where's the high probability. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. So this just tells us there's a nice high probability end of wave ABC. All right. So now what we've done is what we've effectively done is said, okay, Apecoin, you know, a lot of people would have got caught out on this. This is normal. You know, when the market is hyping and everyone, some coin like Apecoin is literally really, really hyped, and there's fear of missing out, FOMO. You know, a lot of people buy here, but you got to remember the people that got in down here are looking to take profits up here. And that's what causes these type of corrections, which is natural, is normal, is healthy. Whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Apecoin, it doesn't matter. The psychology of buying and selling is the same. Why? Because the variable that's constant is humans, right? Humans have the emotions of fear and greed, and that's what drives the markets. And that's what a lot of people proved years ago, decades and decades ago, and it still holds true today. So now we got this correction. We're in this zone over here. So just to keep this clean, I'm just going to do one more thing with Apecoin. We can actually get rid of these lines, these the top ones, because they are now, they've been exceeded. We can get rid of this, and then this one I can get rid of as well. In fact, I want to do one other thing as well. This is what I do for my personal stuff. I often do a bit of time analysis. It just gives us a good clue on, because sometimes, you know, think of it like a sprinter again. They need a certain amount of time to recover, to recover from a sprint. And often people don't realize there's particular ratios. Let me just get this here. All right, let me just draw this here. This is the typical minimum. Yeah, so we haven't even reached that typical minimum. More often than not, I mean, we could argue that, you know, we should be taking it from here because of this low over here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we just want to be aware that we haven't reached the typical minimum if we take it from this low over here, but we're close. Where's the date? The date is, sometimes Dex Tools doesn't give me the date. Let's have a look. 2, 3. Yeah, in around a week's time. So let's just finish up. So I want to keep this focused. So sometimes I go into thinking zone. I'm just kind of thinking mode. What would confirm be the first signal, a clear signal that Apecoin has reached the low and it should hold? That this will potentially be a wave C of some sort, sometime a wave 2. The first signal will be taken out a swing high. So where are the swing highs? Well, this over here or this over here are swing highs, and that'll be the first signal. So WD again said it best. He said one of the safest times, he's one of the forefathers of technical analysis, one of the safest times to buy is on the first reaction to a new trend. So what that means is you can either take a high risk approach, which is buying in this zone, but we might see further downside movement, or wait for a clear signal. So what I mean by that is, if the market moves and takes out a previous swing high, wait for the first pullback to that swing high. That's the first reaction. And then have a strategy where you're buying in this position, in this zone over here. You know, if you're doing the traditional stop losses and going long, you know, if you use those, you know, you can go long above the next swing high over here and put your stop loss down here, and that's a high probability trade setup. So now let's just finish on, okay, if this does unfold as like we're seeing over here, where is the likely price action likely to go? So there's two things I'm going to do here. I'm just going to zoom this in like so. Just going to get rid of this just to keep it clean. And what I want to look at, what I want to look at is two things. One, a very simple external retracement. I'll do this first today. And the numbers we're looking for is 62 and 2.618. So 1.618 and 2.618. And I'm just going to do the other one, and then we'll just see what's the likely price zones purely from a psychology buying and selling position. That's what we're looking at here. I'm not even looking at the fundamentals. Are they important? Yeah, absolutely they're important. But in terms of where is the likely price action likely to go to, they're not that important, funny enough. Because what's driving the price? Not the fundamentals. The fundamentals is important, but it's not driving the price. Buying and selling is driving the price. So 1.618 and 2.618. Okay, I know these ranges are going to be broad, but it gives us a guideline of what we want to be aware of. And then as the market unfolds, if it does unfold like this, if being the operative word, because we can only do probabilities and never certainties, now we have a clear picture on what we can anticipate is likely to occur. So then if we just do this here, let's just say we did see a price surge, the minimum expectation should be around $33. So we're talking about a 2x to a $39 mark. Sorry, 33 to, let's call it $40. It's around the 2x mark. And then up here, we're talking about, let me just zoom this in. We're talking about $45 to $55. Well, that should be the next price target zone. And then you can see if that meets your criteria. Because even though it looks like a massive surge to the upside, it's quite a mature project now. It's quite a mature project in terms of market cap. It's a $4 billion market cap. If it does a 2x, that'll be an $8 billion market cap. If it gets to $55, what's that? It's almost a 3x, so it's 12. It'll be a $12 billion market cap coin. So we jump back to coin market cap. You know, if we just go to, let's just see what that would be. What do we say? 55 times 3, 4, 8, 12. It's around 12 billion. Where will 12 billion take it in terms of market cap position? It will take it to be, if everything else stood still, it'll go above Shiba Inu, right? It'll be a top 15 coin. If Shiba Inu didn't pump and Apecoin did, you know, we're looking at a top 15 coin. But just purely from a speculation standpoint, we're talking about today's price, roughly around the $15 mark. Here, $30, it's around 2.5x. $55 is 3-4x. Yeah, and there you have it. There you have it. So if you want to learn, if you haven't done much on Elliott Wave and Fibonacci, you must know these skills as part of your portfolio. I've actually got a free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci Masterclass in the link below that breaks this down, these ABC corrections, the relationship from a wave 2 to a wave 3, and the most typical common ratios, how you can prevent yourself from buying at the tops and selling at the bottoms. Ideally, what you want to be doing is buying at the bottoms and selling at the tops. And if you realize that the markets are just speculation, what's driving the price behavior, there are many factors, but you can literally just measure the psychology of buying and selling. How is the market feeling? If someone's in great profit, they're going to be feeling like they should be taking profits, and others are there's FOMO, fear of missing out, there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All these human emotions of fear and greed tied in together with millions of participants literally reflects itself in the price action. And once you can see that, you can see more often than not what's likely to occur with high probability 2 steps before it happens. So you're ahead of the game. What most people have is they're 2 steps behind the market. So they're always chasing. So they buy too late and they sell too soon. And you want to reverse that where you're able to get in early and sell once the trend, the trend is your friend, ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. So take my free Elliott Fibonacci Masterclass. I'm telling you, you'll love it. I've broken it down for you in simple terms. It applies incredibly well to cryptocurrency. And most cryptocurrency will reflect a really, really clear chart pattern. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's finish on a quote. Let's just see chapter. I'm going to go with chapter 8. I'm going to chapter 8. Henry Ford, it has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. Right now, today, I'm an early riser, right? I don't set the alarm clock. When I wake up, I literally just get up. And today was around 4 a.m., right? 4 a.m. So whilst most people are sleeping, I'm training, I'm working, I'm studying. Whether it's Elliott Waves, whether it's the markets, whether it's other things, bringing value to the table, recording content, looking at things. So there's always everyone and everyone has 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day. If you look at how much time people watch social media and Netflix, you can restructure your life and free up an hour, and you can spend that with something like Elliott Waves. And with practice, weeks, months, and years, you'll have an edge on the market. And knowing that this market is here to stay, crypto's here to stay, all contracts, physical contracts in our centralized world, it's going to be moving over to the blockchain because it's a more efficient technology to allow things to happen with more transparency and, smart contracts, etc., etc. So take the time, take the masterclass, learn, and be one of those that gets ahead during the time that others are wasting. While others are moaning and groaning, maybe it's the bear market, they're moaning and groaning about so on and so forth. Yeah, we can't do. There's market forces that are outside of our control, but what is inside of our control is the work that we do, sharpening our axe, so when the opportunities present themselves, we are ahead of the game, 2 steps ahead. So then opportunity and preparation meet, and that's normally what's required for success to occur. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you very soon.